Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round 6 of the P&R Formula 3 Championship hosted on the World Sim Series website. My name is Anders, and I'll be your host for this evening's race. It should be a good one, hopefully. Touch wood. Now, before we go any further, I just need to say that I might have to dash off randomly through the stream. It isn't because I don't like you, it's purely because my little boy is teething really badly at the minute, bless him, and is not coping so well. So, yeah, it's taken us a fair bit of effort to keep him happy today, which has been really difficult, really tricky. It's just been one of those days. But anyway, on to tonight's proceedings. The Formula 3 Championship are heading to Circuit de Catalunya, and well, before we head over to the track run, let's just take a quick look at the standings. So the standings, Van der Hoeven is leading the way with 108 points. Koba is in P2 with 92. Closely behind, however, in P3 is Butler, and Jay Skyring are in exactly the same points with 82. Fabrice Lettermy with 70 in P5, Mayor in P6 with 62, Coulson and Bernardi, Coulson, sorry, in P7 with 47, Bernardi with 42, and Smith and Spool currently tied with 41 points. Pindelia is looking to break into the top 10 this evening. So, before we head straight into trackside, here is a little track recce of what you can expect from the Formula 3s tonight at the Circuit de Catalunya. The Circuit de Catalunya, Barcelona, as we just let off a little bit to go around the final corner. A little bit of understeer coming out of there. And over the DRS line to start the lap. Very well known circuit, this one, thanks to it being on the F1 calendar for many a decade. Down to third gear through the right, left, early up to fourth to not lose the rear end, and we should be able to be flat out all the way around this right-hander, letting the car drift out wide up to fifth to the famous straight where Hamilton and Rosberg collided, and I believe it was in the 2016 season. Over the crest we go, back over to the right-hand side. Oh, hard on the brakes, taking it very chilled this lap. And the left-hander down the hill to the famous left-right complex to head us back up the hill, down into third, not touching the curbs for some reason. These curbs like to spin out the car. Up the hill, we're going to let off through here. Realistically, our drivers might, if the setup's correct, back in DRS, be able to take that flat. If they have the setup correct, harden the brakes again, down into second. Let the car roll out to the outside. Back on the power early up to third to stop the wheel spin. Keep it in third gear around this long right-hander, being patient, wait until towards the exit to put the power back down. Flat around this right-hander, up to fifth, down again to fourth to get us around the last corner for one flying lap of the Circuit de Catalunya. We'll see how our racers get on very, very shortly. But until then, back to Anders in the studio. So there we go, that's Circuit de Catalunya, and you can see on the big screen beside me that we are currently looking at someone who's looking to try and catch Van der Hoeven up at the top spot, being Mr. Butler, as we can also hear that Bernardi is just gone off the circuit. We've got 5 minutes left of free practice. Let's head over trackside. And hopefully, I'm just checking, the audio's coming through absolutely fine. I believe it is. So I hope you're all doing well this evening. Happy Sunday. I hope you've had a good week. So let's try and set you up for a good week ahead. But yes, as I mentioned earlier, if you're just joining the stream, hello, my name is Anders. You're watching the Pretty Ninja Racing YouTube channel. Sorry, I'm getting used to there being the professional mic in my face. I've had this for so many years and I've just not set it up properly since I've come into the shed. Let's just see if I can just tighten it up a little bit, because it does seem to be a little bit loose. There we go, that might be a little bit better. Some nice camera angles here at the Circuit de Catalunya. These are just still ones as Butler goes over the line with a 1:28.8. And I believe in the background there is Jay Skyring, so we'll see if they improve. But they're on the hard tyre, so I think the front left is going to take a little bit of a beating today. It's going to be one to definitely keep an eye out for. It's going to be 30 minutes of, well, tyre management really, more than anything else. But we only have 8 drivers tonight, so quite a few people dropping out on points. There we go. Apparently the little man's gone to sleep and he's just snoring away, which is what I want to hear, to be honest. And here is Jay Skyring in the green and blue livery this evening, by the looks of it. What sort of camera angles do we have? That's a nice one, quite wide angle. I like wide angle, you can see more. Wow, the track limits do not exist, clearly, for Circuit de Catalunya. So that's quite interesting to know. And our current championship leader, Van der Hoeven, coming out of the pit road now to try and get a little bit of free practice in just before the main event. But if you're in chat, don't hesitate to say hello. It's always nice to answer questions or simply just have a general conversation about things. But who else do we need to keep an eye out for today? Skyring is definitely one of them. However, currently 1.3 seconds off the pace to Butler, so we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Spall definitely looking to climb the ranks today, and certainly will do with the field that's on show today. Regardless of where you finish today, you're going to get a nice haulage of points. Certainly going to shake things up, that's for sure. Bernardi is also driving tonight. It's had a good couple of events here. Bernardi with PNR, which is quite nice to see. So Beck has just gone into the pit lane. And the Circuit de Catalunya is certainly not the easiest one, as Jay Skyring now goes into, well, it's made an incident there, or it's had an incident rather, and it's gone into pit road, and I know that's the case purely because his name goes red. So if you see the name going red in the timing tower on the left hand side, that generally means that they've messed up. Basically. That's basically what it means. Fabrice Lamy is the one that's usually not really shown much on the stream because he's usually on his own with 14 seconds ahead of him and 14 seconds behind him, but usually gets a good bag of points on each time he races an event with PNR. He's one of the main PNR members and has hit the 100 subscriber mark on YouTube, which is fantastic. So just as we've hit 200, he's also hit 100, which is epic. Really good stuff. We don't do this to gain subscribers or even to gain money. I doubt we'll either at any stage monetize this channel. There's just no point really. It's not what we're doing it for. As Van der Hoeven goes into the lead 1/10 quicker than Butler. So is that a sign of things to come? That's over the timing line. Fabrice Lamy comes with 31.3, and here is Mark Coulson, currently sat P6 for free practice. Oh, runs really wide and finishes the lap in style. And finishes the lap in style. And the mouse has gone all the way over here. So Van der Hoeven is the one to watch out for tonight. He is currently the championship leader. And I'm just going to keep my mouse on the screen for now. Butler is a chasing participant. Koba isn't in tonight. So regardless, Butler, I think regardless of where he finishes, will move into P2 in the leaderboard. It's just how many points can he knock off that gap to Van der Hoeven with, well, excluding this one, 2 more rounds to go, round 7 and round 8. So that'll be certainly one to watch out for. I think mathematically Van der Hoeven could take the title tonight, but in the nicest way. I kind of also doubt it with the 8 drivers. Next week, Van der Hoeven might be able to seal the deal. Jay Skyring sitting P3 and currently P4 in the championship, tied with Butler on points, if I remember correctly. Oh, and there's a bright yellow Mercedes safety car. And we'll go on board with our championship leader for the out lap and for the qualifying lap. You can see that it's only set to 6 minutes for qualifying. Very short, very fast, very snappy. They have to get on with it the longer they wait. So a lot of understeer there. Van der Hoeven. Cold tyres most likely, and the hard tyres are on. Bernardi is on the mediums, Sobek is on the mediums, and Coulson is also on the mediums. So it's going to be a tough race, this one. And speaking of tough races, the 3 Hour of Indianapolis will be happening on the 8th of March, 7:30. You can watch it from my perspective. It's to celebrate 200 subscribers here on our YouTube channel, so thank you very much. Very kind of you, and it gives us an excuse to do these sort of mini enduros, and we're doing it on AMS2 of all titles, purely because in the nicest way at this moment in time it is genuinely my favourite driving sim of some degree. So yes, I am being selfish, and I'm definitely picking a title that I like the most. But if you want to get involved, all you have to do is be a part of our Discord. That's literally it. Oh wow, look at that. The car did grip up, but not quite enough for what Van der Hoeven wanted. And you can see in the mirror just below there that Butler is definitely getting a nice bit of slip, as well as DRS. And to be fair, they're able to ride the curbs where I definitely couldn't in the track recce. The car just wanted to spin out, so maybe it's more of a skill issue. You can see taking it nice and wide through, and Butler is looking quite comfortable behind there. Oh, and a front left lockup for Van der Hoeven. He had to be really tentative then to get onto the parity flat here. No, didn't think so. Just not enough downforce. DRS open. Can he have a neat sector 3? It sounds pretty good. It looks pretty good. But I think Butler... Oh, Butler is just 0.06 of a second shy. So after one lap, we can already see where the battle is going to be. Bernardi should be the next over the line, and they are. Skyring pips them to the post. Getting a 29.9. Fabrice Lamy... Oh, Spool, sorry, goes over the line with a 31.6. So a little bit quicker again. But Skyring... it's got a bit of traffic to contend with here, because they're clearly a bit quicker. But this is hot shot qualifying. And you've got to, well, you've got to be clever, really. Spoiler's gone off the circuit. It's rejoined. And it's almost like a mini racing qualifying here between Bernardi and Skyring. And Skyring dives down the inside, locking up. And that's the end of that lap. The reality is, in qualifying, he doesn't have to give way. Even if he is the slower car. My advice would be to just sit back a little bit. Give yourself the track space. You know, find the end of the train. Then you can give yourself as much space as you want. It's not always worth trying to overtake the slower car in front. Now, can Butler do any better this time around? We are coming around the final corner here. And Butler's taking a lot more curb there. And they both improve, but Van der Hoeven still keeping the lead. With 7/100ths of a second, or 8/100ths of a second, sorry. Not quite 1/10. But I have a funny feeling this is going to be the case through the race. I think Van der Hoeven's just able to find that extra hundredths of a second, which really counts. But in the race, when the DRS zone's in play, is that going to cause Van der Hoeven a little bit of a headache? As Coulson moves into P6, Lloyd is now in the server, so we've got one more extra driver, so Lloyd is probably going to start at the back of the grid, although they are out getting a lap time in. So here is Lloyd coming out of the pit lane. It's good to see them. And Van der Hoeven's gone off. And that could happen in the race as well, you know, but can Butler capitalise on the mistake of Van der Hoeven? And Coulson's gone off as well. Currently sat in P6. Bernardi's in the pits. Coulson's now in the pits. So those two are done for the qualifying session. Spool is now done as well. Oh no, maybe not. Still trying to go. 3 seconds left on the timing board. I don't think Butler's going to get another chance. And he runs wide coming out of the final corner. And he does improve, but not enough. So Van der Hoeven is going to take us from the front row of the grid unless Jay Skyring can do anything about that. As we come around the right-hander, where you've got to be really patient before putting the power down, and that looks beautiful from Skyring. Flat out round here. And then drop it down again to get it turned in. Really nicely done there by Skyring. Any improvements? Massive improvement. But not enough for 29.3. Letterme is still yet to set a lap time as they come over the timing line and move into P4. Sobek is also yet to start a lap time. Lloyd won't get a lap time in. But what can Sobek do? Can Sobek get themselves away from starting at the back of the grid? And around the final corner they go. They can carry a lot more speed through there, but this looks a little bit more casual. And a lap time is set. So Lloyd will be starting at the back of the grid. So our lineup for today's race is Van der Hoeven will be taking P1 on the grid. Butler will be P2. Only, well, 0.04 of a second behind. Skyring takes P3 after that epic last flying lap. So to be fair, they're in the DRS zone. So we could see a train of 3 for the race. Fabrice Letterme doing Fabrice Letterme things, moving into P4 nice and quietly. Spool P5 only half a second behind Fabrice Letterme, meaning that they will be in the DRS zone if they can keep up consistently with Fabrice Letterme. Bernardi again is only he's 1.1 seconds behind P5 of Spool. Coulson is only 1/10 behind Bernardi, but I think Coulson's got a little bit more in them. And Sobek's lap was, to be fair, quite a gingerly one. So I think Sobek will probably do better lap times. And with Lloyd, we have no idea. We have no idea what's going to happen. Now, I know it's not Lloyd's favourite sort of car, this. I think this is from the standing cam, so it should give us the best view for the first few corners. 30 minutes are on the clock. This is round 6 of the Pretty Ninja Formula 3 Championship, Season 2. 66 is the Season 1 title holder, but has not really been able to attend these events. So who will the title go to? Will it go to Van der Hoeven? Or will it go to Butler? We'll find out in the next 3 races, but this one is going to be quite an important one for Butler. Butler needs to get the race victory today. And here are our 6 red lights. At some point. There we go. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And off we pop for round 6 of the Formula 3 Championship. All of them getting a little bit sideways off the line here. And it does look like Van der Hoeven got the best start. Skyring looks like they might be trying to capitalise on Butler, but can Butler stick it round the outside? Certainly giving it a go. He's late on the brakes, but Van der Hoeven's got a much better exit. And Skyring's also now trying to get round the outside, now the inside into turn 3. And they've all managed to survive getting through. Sobek looking to improve, moving up to P5. Bernardi's moved down to P6. Someone looking to dive down the inside there. Bernardi on Sobek. Good move there in the early stages. Needs to watch out for the switchback though. Coulson moves up to P7. Spool down to P8. And Spool moves down. Although Spool and Coulson currently battling out in the background there. You can see that. And Lloyd is just chilling, which I think is absolutely fair enough. And Skyring is still holding P2 of Butler. But they need to work together if they want to keep up with Butler. And Spool is off the circuit. Where is Spool? Oh, Fabrice Letemy's got a drive through for early use of DRS. And there is Spool. Oh, Fabrice Letemy's got a drive through. Ah, it's never good. Never good. Although now it looks like Butler's in the lead, sorry. When did I miss that? I must have missed that. Butler's moved themselves into the lead. Skyring in P2. Van der Hoeven is in P3. DRS is now enabled for this lap. Fabrice Letemy has moved into the pits to serve their drive-through penalty. How do I miss these things? Unless I got the cars all mixed up, and it was actually... Yeah, I think it was. I think it was Van der Hoeven that was trying to go round the outside. Lloyd's got a drive-through for DRS. Using it too early. It's enabled this lap. Doesn't mean that they have it. And I think... Well, they're 5 seconds from the car behind. So that was a bit silly from Lloyd, really, but never mind. And now we've just got the front 3 drivers, and there goes Van der Hoeven locking up. The gap is more than a second. And Fabrice Letemy's got another drive-through for using DRS. What are these guys doing? So Skyring should... Oh, actually, no. Skyring's out of range for DRS. So none of these 3 drivers currently have DRS. Bernardi moves up into P4 ahead of Sobek. And who there has got DRS? I believe that's Sobek. But Coulson just defending enough there in the middle of the 3 cars that we have on screen. Just not quite on the racing line, but enough to make Sobek make their mind up. But Coulson and Sobek are going to have DRS going down the main straight here. Butler sets the fastest lap of the race so far, but this is only lap 2. Lap 3 completed, really. Right, lap 2 completed. So here we go. How effective is the DRS on this circuit? And Sobek was a little bit quicker getting it open there. And is looking to go down the inside of Coulson. And I think the move is nice and done. Oh, and Coulson runs a little bit wide. He might have gone a little bit deep there with the DRS opening. But to be fair, I think Collie will be able to. And looking down the inside there was Sobek, but Bernardi closed the door. And Jay Skyring has got closer to Butler. Pardon me. So they should have use of DRS at this range here. 1.7 is the gap to Van der Hoeven. And Jay Skyring can't really capitalise on the use of DRS there. And we can see that Coulson is already on the back. Wrong one. There we go. On the back of Sobek. And Sobek just running a little bit wide there. Few drivers risking the mediums here for the race duration. And Bernardi in P4 is on the hard, so longevity over grip. Now can Coulson get a nice clean exit here? They can, but now we're going to watch Sobek completely tackle Bernardi. That's a very extreme pull out there by Sobek. And I think Bernardi, oh, is going back for the switchback. Oh, that was a nicely done move there. Sobek did not expect it. That was really nicely done there by Bernardi. Good little bit of racecraft. Later on the brakes, saw the gap down the inside, and the move was done. Very nice. Very nice battling here for P4. Oh, and Bernardi's gone off. And it's fallen down into P6 and needs to keep the car moving. Make sure that the rejoin is nice and safe. Safe enough, there's no cars around. Now it's just Sobek and Coulson. Spool is currently P6. I'm not sure if they are making gains right now. It's early days. 24 minutes left of the race to go. And we've seen one lovely move followed by a driver error there for Bernardi. As Coulson is incredibly close here to Sobek. It's not really worth doing the overtake. I was going to say, nicely played there by Coulson. It's not worth overtaking there because all you're doing is giving the driver behind you DRS for the start-finish straight. That's the gap between P1 and 2. It's only half a second, but Van der Hoeven is falling down the pace a little bit. Coulson really needs to improve that sector 3 if he wants to utilize the use of DRS. He definitely needs to either get a bit braver or have a bit more faith in the car, because clearly sector 3 is where it's hurting him the most right now. Some interesting driving lines here. So let's take a look at the battle for P1 right now. So Jay Skyring is still only 8 tenths behind Butler. But right now, I'm not quite sure what they can do to keep up with Butler, because even with DRS, Skyring seems to be slowly dropping off the pace a little bit. And Mark Coulson's got a drive through for DRS, possibly using it at the wrong part. Oh, and Sobek has spun it. And Coulson has got a drive through, but that's certainly going to soften the blow a little bit. Might just used it a little bit too early. Just get the drive through done, Coulson. Just get the drive through done. That's it. Spool is going to make their way by. Now move up into P4. And Jay Skyring, you can see the DRS down in sector 1 is certainly helping them, but it's just not enough. Somewhere Butler is just finding those extra 2 to 3 tenths, and it could be down here where the wash of the dirty air might be a little bit too much, as Coulson's taken the drive through. Not on this occasion by the looks of it. Skyring's managed to keep the gap relatively humble. But it does seem to be those few corners there. You just seem to lose 2 or 3 tenths to Butler. Oh, and almost made the same mistake that Sobek did, but this means that he's out of DRS range for Butler, unless Butler plays smart and gives DRS back to Jay Skyring, but I don't think he has. Now, Skyring's got to be careful here. He's not close enough. No DRS enabled. Pardon me. Should have definitely brought some water today. Definitely not drank enough. So there you go. There's our infomercial for the day. Drink water. Stops you getting a dry throat when you're having to talk about 9 sim races going around the Circuit de Catalunya in round 6 of the Pretty Ninja Racing F3 Championship. Because that's not a mouthful. So here we go. Sobek's just done a personal best of the race so far, 33.6. That's 3 seconds currently off the pace of the front 3 drivers. Off the front 3 drivers, I should say. And the gap now between these 3 almost becoming even a little bit. Now Butler can either play it tactically and drop back a little bit just to help Skyring and you know, get a car as a buffer or defender from Van der Hoeven, a bit like what Carlos Sainz did to, I believe it was Lando Norris in the I think it was the Las Vegas GP last season. And Sobek is within DRS range of Spool. So there is Sobek, although he's now just out of it again, but over the DRS line he was close enough. And this again is P4 seems to be the battle zone right now. Collie is 13 seconds behind Bernardi, but we know that Collie's got a bit more pace in him. Lloyd has made a bit of an error. Just dropped off. Fabrice Lemy's in P8. 7 seconds behind Mark Olsen. And over the time limit going, Sobek sets another personal best for the race so far. But is too far back to use DRS. And you could see someone, I think that was Bernardi in the background there, massive lockup into T1. You can see Spool trying to use the driving lines of the drivers in front. Oh, and someone's gone into the sand a little bit. Oh, that's Spool, sorry. Spool went into the sand just a little bit. It's got some dirty tyres now. It's got to be careful. Sobek is only 6 tenths behind. Oh, he misses that important apex there. And Butler's just set the fastest lap of the race so far today, 1:30.1. I think Spool got let off a little bit there by Sobek making an error coming over the crest. Lloyd is in the pits. And Spool running wide, which is going to allow Sobek to get an absolute run on them down the main straight, carrying a lot more speed. This is definitely move done easily for Sobek. The DRS is just going to be far too much for Spool as Lloyd just comes out of the pit road now. But yeah, there was nothing Spool could do about that there. All they can hope is that the medium tyres burn off a little bit quicker than the hards. Well, they should burn off a little bit quicker through this 30-minute race. That's where the Spool can do anything about it. Now, Van der Hoeven is within a second, just about, of Jay Skyring in P2. Now, this is where it could get interesting for the championship's sake. Right now, Van der Hoeven is dropping 10 points. May not seem like much, but it is. Or maybe not 10, maybe more like 8. Oh, and Van der Hoeven runs wide. Do they still have DRS? They do have DRS. That's a saving grace for Van der Hoeven. But they ran wide coming out of the final corner. And the gap is now down to 2 seconds. Now, Spool is still only half a second behind Sobek. Now, they should, if they get the drive right, do the same thing to Sobek that Sobek did to Spool last lap. Even though the gap is 6 tenths, now it's half a second. The drive out was pretty good there by Spool. Let's take a watch. Sobek just set a personal best of the race so far, though. And you know what? Even with DRS, Spool is not really able to do much. Trying to use as much track width as possible. Lloyd has gone back into the pits. Oh, and Sobek's gone round. Sobek has gone round. I'm not quite sure what's happened to Lloyd here. It's just pulling into pit road. Maybe a bit of damage, or it's just kind of trying to stay out of everybody's way. Don't know. Don't know. And Van der Hoeven is now dropped back 5, 6, 7 seconds to Jay Skyring. So that is quite a big drop off there. And Sobek and Bernardi are now back to racing as they were only a few laps ago. And Sobek manages to pass this Bernardi once again. Now those medium tyres seem to be waking up a little bit. And Lloyd is struggling by the looks of things, or may have just stopped on track. Trying to get off the driving line. There is Van der Hoeven. Well done, Lloyd. Nicely done. And there is Sobek. Bernardi is only half a second behind the Italian. Oh, look at that snap of oversteer coming through there. Forcing them to come off the power, losing a lot of time. Just had to catch the car. Wasn't happy about that. One driver that will be quite happy right now is Butler, leading the way. 13 minutes left to go. Looking to get those maximum 30 points onto the leaderboard. Jay Skyring won't be feeling the pressure as much, but will still be fully aware that Van der Hoeven is a rather quick driver. And given any opportunity, will be on the tail end of Jay Skyring. Fabrice let me down in P8, slowly catching Mark Coulson in P7. Van der Hoeven has just set the fastest lap of the race so far, so if that's any indication of where Van der Hoeven's head space is at right now, that should be a little bit of a wake-up call for Skyring. He can't sit on his laurels. He's got to push. He's got to keep it going. Especially if they want to keep Van der Hoeven at bay. But we've seen it before. Van der Hoeven's definitely got it in the locker to come and snatch away higher points position right at the depth of the race. As Spool has just set their personal best of the race so far. Sorry, best lap of the race so far. My apologies. And Bernardi's just done the same as well, actually, on the tail end of Sobek. Not close enough for DRS though, coming down the main straight. Again, if you're new to the DRS system, you have to be within 1 second of the car ahead of you. And Bernardi, it really isn't far there, only 0.05 of a second right now, give or take. But it does seem to be that Bernardi is maybe running a more slippery vehicle. So in the straights, you can see that Bernardi's got the legs on Sobek, but not necessarily through the corners. So sector 2 is where it's going to hurt the most. Just starting now, effectively. Coming down the hill as we go on board. Let's just see how they use their steering wheel. You can tell what sort of problems that they've got, whether they're steering in quite a lot or not. That looks rather casual, looks nice, rather smooth. To be fair, it does look like Bernardi is kind of looking after the tyres a little bit right now, rather than actually pushing the car. Not really fighting it. Or they are not really fighting it, for all I know. This could be a woman. I apologise. Assuming gender. Oh, and there goes Sobek. And that's Bernardi up to 5th. Well, that was very anticlimactic. And Sobek has spun once again. Those medium tyres probably heating up like mad now, right now. The rear left, certainly. Now, is Mark Coulson going to be able to capitalise on it? Probably not. There's no DRS. And there is Fabrice Letamy in the background, setting their personal best of the race so far. Now Sobek is having to contend with Mark Coulson. It's not the first time. Coulson won the first battle, but who's going to win the second? And Butler's just at the fastest lap of the race of 1:29.7. So those hard tyres clearly are scrubbing up quite nicely with the drop of fuel load. And Van der Hoeven now, 1:30.1. Still 5 seconds behind Jay Skyring, but Jay Skyring is losing Butler quite quickly now. As right now we're watching the battle for P6. Sobek heading down to the famous left-right uphill section of Catalonia. And Coulson's taking out much neater, much tighter, much tidier. And will be within the DRS range. But I think Coulson needs to be clever here. Do what it did last time. Don't go for the move. That's it. Nicely done. Coulson knows. Oh, and Sobek's ran wide. And manages just to nip ahead of Coulson. Or was he trying to be clever? And not, you know, not... Oh no, and Sobek's gone wide again. And Coulson's going to have DRS. So away Coulson will go into the distance. Sobek drops down to P7. Fabrice Letamy will also be able to capitalise. Well, someone's got DRS, so I don't know why they're not opening it. Someone definitely had DRS then and didn't bother to use it. Interesting. But now you can see in the background the grey monster livery WSS machine of Fabrice Letamy is getting in on this battle now. So it's going to be a three-way battle for P6. Let's take a look at Fabrice Letamy. Let's go on board. Go on board with the Belgian driver. I believe there's a monster livery on the front. Monster logo. Very neat and tidy. Oh, locking up that front left is really going to hurt the tyres. Once again, Sobek struggling in sector 3. So whether those medium tyres are genuinely falling apart a little bit right now. Oh, misses the apex quite a lot, but manages to keep round. But Fabrice Letamy, oh, and runs into the sand, and Fabrice Letamy's going to get DRS. And you can tell DRS is activated, and Sobek can't do anything about it. And up into P7, Fabrice Letamy goes. Mark Coulson's the next target, only 1.3 seconds ahead. But also have to try and shake off Sobek. He was only half a second behind, so... Oh, a little bit early on the turn in there. There you can see masses of understeer. A little bit too early going into that. Looks like this car is definitely set up for understeer. And it seems to be working for him because he's got within 7 tenths of Mark Coulson up ahead. And there is the DRS line, so we know that Letamy's going to have DRS for this section. And Mark Coulson's gone defensive, but again, if they're smart, they won't overtake here. There's no real point. You want to be behind for the start-finish straight. Now, if I was Coulson, I would let him go there. And Mark Coulson gets a nice drive through the right-hander, maybe carrying a bit too much speed. Because right now, if I was Mark Coulson, I'd be behind Fabrice Letamy, ready to use DRS, and Mark Coulson also runs wide on the exit of the last corner. Fabrice Letamy's got DRS. You can see the speed difference, and up to P6, Fabrice Letamy goes. And Sobek is now 12 seconds behind, so I've missed that in the background. And both of them running a little bit wide into T1. And there is Sobek. Sobek's not having the best of time there in Sector 3, I don't think. And Fabrice Lamy has also almost got a 1 second gap to Mark Coulson already. So Fabrice Lamy is clearly on the move. It's a shame about the drive-through, because they could very well be battling Spool for P4 right now. 5 minutes left of the race to go. Here is our race leader, Butler. I was about to say with commanding drive, and I just saw it was a little bit of a happy rear end there. Here we are, second to last lap. Van der Hoeven's just set at 1:29.7. There's a big old bug on my screen. Hello, bug. Skadoosh. There we go. Bug gone. Maybe not quite gone, but close enough gone. And Fabrice Lamy, it looks like they're about to get lapped by Butler. Now, will Butler have DRS? I think they should. Yeah, they do. And there we go. So we're now on the final lap here of round 6 of the PNR Formula 3 Championship. Sobek has made another error, sadly, by the looks of things. Van der Hoeven's just set another personal best, so it wasn't a 29.7, it was a 29.8. 3.9 seconds behind Jay Skyring. And Butler, since the race start, has done pretty well, I would say. Managed to race very finely. Managed to pull a gap when they needed to, and they've managed to manage these hard tyres all the way to the end. And who is that now? Butler will be overtaking Bernardi by the looks of things. And sadly, for Bruce Letterme, there's not going to be another lap for them to try and take P5 away from Bernardi. And Butler comes around the final corner to take race victory here at the Circuit of Catalunya, round 6 of the PNR Formula 3 Championship. Fabrice Letterme finishes and confirmed 6th position. Jay Skyring comes over the line to take P2. Van der Hoeven takes P3 after a difficult spell off the starting line. Spool is still running one more lap to go and has a 3-second gap to Bernardi behind, so as long as Spool keeps their nose clean, they should be able to get this race easily done. You can see a few of the drivers already disconnecting. And Lloyd has apparently made an error before coming over to start finish straight. Not quite sure where on track they are. Sounds like going around the final corner. And here comes Spool to take P4. Very good drive again from Spool. Definitely improving. Bernardi will take P5. So Butler is our race winner for today's event. Jay Skyring takes P2. I can't select on P3 because Van der Hoeven's already left. Spool takes P4. Bernardi takes P5. Fabrice Letterme takes P6. Mark Coulson takes P7. And Sobek won't be too happy with their drive today. We'll take P8. Lloyd, in the nicest way, made some lovely numbers. Now that was an iffy race, lol. All it was a recovery drive, says Fabrice Letterme. Yeah, it was. For using DRS on the first lap. That's what happens when you use DRS on the first lap. So there we go. Ignore the extra mic here. This is for when I jump into Discord in just a minute's time. Let's see what the standings look like now. I doubt the results are confirmed quite yet. Driver reports are open. We are just waiting for the results to be finalised. They are. Here we go. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, here are the standings for the PNR Formula 3 Championship. Van der Hoeven still leads the way with 130 points. Butler moves into P2 with 112, meaning that he is 18 points behind Van der Hoeven to take the race victory. So can Van der Hoeven, well, it all depends on whether Butler can come join in next week. So we will have to wait and see. I've got a funny feeling it is going to go down to the last round mathematically, as long as Butler joins in. Jay Skyring's P3, or moves into P3 rather, with 108 points. Koba drops from P2 to P4 after missing tonight's events with 92. They are out of the running for the championship. Fabrice Letterme moves to P5 with 68 points. Mayor is in P6 with 62. Spool moves up to P7 with 61 points, and Mark Coulson is in P8 with exactly the same 61 points. Bernardi in P9 with 60 points, and to round off the top 10, Sobek with 51. But there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Next, we will be streaming tomorrow night the Ultimate Sim Racers Formula 2s around the Algarve Portimao. We have only 6 drivers signed up, so make sure you do get yourself signed up, and to do that you need to be part of our Discord to get the passwords. The standings for that are relatively close again. Butler is leading the way quite drastically though, and to be fair, if they win tomorrow, pretty much take the championship. In fact, it's only because there's a 3-point gap here that Jay Skyring yeah, basically, Butler needs to finish tomorrow, and he will win the Ultimate Sim Racer with 2 more rounds left to go. So watch out for round 6 for the Ultimate Sim Racer. Let me just check that there is 2 more rounds to go after this. Yeah, round 7 and round 8. So Butler might be able to take the Ultimate Sim Racer trophy that early on. Here we go. Right, and I need to just press F11. Ooh, just get rid of that. Pretty Ninja YouTube, you will see. Currently, I'm streaming this one here, but there is the 200 sub celebration of Pretty Ninja Racing. And as you can see, we've got 204 lovely subscribers. Thank you very much. It's very kind of you. We're doing a 3-hour race of Indianapolis on Automobilista 2. And one thing that I need and want to shout out is that our very good Fabrice Lemmy hit 100 subscribers on YouTube, and we are hosting the he will be hosting the Kyle Army 200 on Automobilista 2. Date to be confirmed. It's going to be in the Copper Classic Bs, and it's going to be 80 laps, 200 miles in total. So it's going to be a very fun race, that one, I would say. The 100 subscriber special. So make sure you get yourselves joined into our Discord server, where you can find all sorts of little lovely bits of fun. And you can see everyone takes it rather chilled here. Everyone's usually in chat. So there you have it. So that was round 6 of the Formula 3 Championship here on Pretty Ninja YouTube. I will catch you tomorrow night, as I mentioned, for the Formula 2 at Portimao. But until then, try and have a good Monday, and take care. Bye bye.